Another incredible day on the Jits Guy podcast. I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope you're excited for today's guest. I'm fired up. This guy is a genuine role model for Jiu-Jitsu. He's a beast on the mats, but he's a really humble human being, and I'm really grateful and honored to have you, Jose Jr., here on the podcast with me. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I think it's amazing what you've been doing. I've been watching the episodes and everything, especially the UAE legends. Yes. A lot of nice guys that I had a privilege and honor to work with aside of them. And then it's amazing what you're doing. Thanks for having me here. And thanks for doing that, because you end up generating a lot of contents for everyone that, you know, all these situations, all these cries all over the world. And then we try to share a little bit of knowledge, have some fun. And then talk to our community. So thank you.
Absolutely, man. Listen, it means the world to me for you to say that. And I really, from my heart, I wanted to create something that we can record history, because what you guys are doing, what you were part of, Jose, from a very early day as well, you made history by transferring a martial art from one country to another from two completely different backgrounds. And we need to have more footage, more recording, more interview of you guys, the people that you taught, the people got influenced by the Jiu-Jitsu lifestyle here in the Middle East. And you see, the people I'm interviewing, man, there's so much beauty around us. It's just because we're listening to John Danaher, we're listening to California, we don't think we have it. But man, we have 10 times as much sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I believe it's great. It's great. Like I said, I had the honor to train with those guys, those legends, you know, those guys. Sometimes they don't have the exposure that people have in US or in Brazil, or, you know, and then you taking this initiative, being a pioneer. I think you've been doing this for some time. Thank you, it's amazing. It's amazing. Thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for the invitation. I was looking forward to watch the next episodes.
Yes, so is, man. And now you're part of this journey with us. And man, I truly believe the beauty. We do this interview. It is there. It's recorded forever, right? And then anybody types BJJ UAE, BJJ Saudi Arabia, they will see Jose Jr. interview. And we get to talk about today what's happening in the world, the crazy Corona times, the shift in Jiu-Jitsu in our culture. So there's a lot I'm excited to talk to you about. But I wanted to first just kind of see how you're doing, how your family is. I know you're in Saudi now. It's not easy, huh?
Yeah, it's not easy. We are all locked down here. They start to opening up a little bit the country, but no jiu-jitsu whatsoever. No gyms are opening now. And then I believe UAE, it's kind of the same, but they are a little bit ahead of us because there was less case. But, you know, very controlled, very, you know, but we are surviving. We are adapting. I was telling the guys today, we had a meeting in Zoom with my team earlier. And then the human being, it's a little bit weird, because the first days we got really like sad and frustrated. And then you end up getting used to try to utilize better your time, and then watching nice things, and then read, and then trying to study. And then I had a challenge for myself during this time. I have to improve something. Yes. You know, I had to improve something. I started studying finance.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
what did you focus on?
Yeah, I'm doing this EDX, fundamentals of finance and everything, EDX education. It's a lot of free course. I recommend for everyone. There's a lot of free course, really, really nice. And you can learn from really good teachers, you know.
I like that, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I'm trying to utilize my time as much as I can. Trying to do a little bit of workout as well at home, you know. So and then we try to reconnect. I think we are, it's a unique moment, you know. I think we are just reconnecting with people, and then with our family. Sometimes we don't have time to do things that, you know, we should be doing. So it's nice. So I'm trying to see from the positive side. Of course, we all want to come back to a normal life, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that what I was telling the guys today, I'm sure we're going to miss a little bit of this after our life gets crazy again.
100%.
You know, oh my God.
Yes. Remember how nice it felt to just be at home with family. Man, you know, I think like this pandemic is a blessing in disguise. Okay, there's a lot of misfortune, but also, man, for example, you have been out of Brazil for so many years, and ever since you left the tarmac on the plane, your life has been non-stop. Work, morning, night, event, competition, event. This is the first time maybe in 10 years plus that you can get to breathe and look at your family, look at your wife, look at your kid and be like, man, I'm blessed. You know, a lot of people are going through this now. And I think it's very positive for us.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's just a matter of you. We try to get everything. That's how I work. I try to get everything. It's how I live my life. I try to get always the positive side, you know.
Amazing.
Try to, you know, see, okay, the good side of this is, okay, I get to spend time with my family. I get to focus more on my kids' study, give them attention. Then, like you said, since I left Brazil, maybe, I don't know, 13 years ago or 14 years ago,
wow.
You know, my life was no stopping, you know, no stopping due to competitions. And then I never had, even though it's been 2 years since the last time I competed.
Sure.
And then I never had vacation before. Like, always, okay, vacation means double training. Vacation means I go somewhere to do camp. You know?
Yes.
So now it's like forced, you know, and then I'm just trying to see good side of all of these, get the positives, and then try to enjoy family, enjoy time, read a book, you know. That was something that I was not doing since college, you know, many years ago.
Many people, man, they're going through this. But you know, it's funny, Jose, you were saying in the beginning, we all felt sad, angry, and all of this. And it reminded me of the stages of anger. Always when something bad happens in our lives or we think it's bad, we go through a process. The first one is always denial. In the beginning, nah, this is not fucking happening. No way. And you see this, nobody wanted to wear the mask. Nobody wanted to be careful.
Exactly.
And then it turned into just angry rage. Everybody was just pissed off. They're lying. They're doing this. We're going through it. But some people today are still stuck in denial or rage. They never got to the point you're in where they open a book. Where they're like, let me focus here. Everybody's trying to focus outside. Like, I really hope that many people listening to this out there can find the time to really improve themselves in this time.
Yeah. Try to get the best out of these, you know. It's nothing we can do. It's out of our control. It's not in our hands, you know. There is a possibility that gyms are not going to open here until Corona passes, you know. They first said, okay, in the third phase of opening up the country, maybe gyms are going to open. Or if things are not improving in the next 3-4 weeks, there is a chance that maybe only next year. We don't know if there are going to be schools this year. So, you know, we'll have two options. Or you're going to pass through this suffering, or you're going to try to enjoy the ride. You know, it's nothing we can do. It's out of our
all you can do.
You know,
it's a big ass wave behind us. We either ride it or it crashes.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
I've been talking to a lot of friends of mine in the school business, right? And what it seems to be the case is next school year, they're not going to be 100% back to school. They're going to divide it 3 days in school, 2 days online. They want to reduce the traffic in the school. So it looks like, Jose, that we are going through right now, like me and you are pretty close in age. We were born and currently live in some of the most interesting times in human history. Internet, right? We lived through this, mobile phones, and now today, this digital revolution, our lives are going online. So,
exactly.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with Elon Musk, and then he was saying that, we have artificial intelligence with us. We're carrying the phone all the time. We think much faster than before. And that's a reality, you know. We all connected. We all reading news. We all, you know, the information is so fast now. When you sleep with news and then you wake up something completely different. It's crazy. And then at the first days, I was following up all the news, all the reports, because I was thinking, this is going to pass really quick. You know, after a few weeks, you're going to find out the vaccine or the medicine or something.
Exactly.
You know, people are going to test everyone and then we're going to be fine. But these make me feel like anxious about it, you know. And then now I read once a day, you know. Once a day, I have to, you know, it's my future, it's my family and everything. So I have to, I read once a day, all the countries that matters to me, like UAE, Saudi, Brazil, USA, you know. And then that's it. Once a day, okay, I know what's going on, and that's it. Move on, you know. But it's a very interesting times. We're going to remember this forever, you know, like it's going to be 50 years from now, and then we're going to have a clear memory of all these, you know, like, oh my God, they remember. Yeah, they remember when there was Corona, and then hopefully it's going to be the last one, you know, hopefully.
Hopefully, man, when we needed permits just to leave our house, right?
Yeah.
I never thought we'd say that in our lives, that I need a permit to leave my house. Holy shit, man.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, they launched this here like a few weeks ago. And then I experienced like few times. I had to apply through the app saying that where I'm going. And they give me like 2 hours to go and come back. And I have to go by myself. If I want to take someone from my family, they have to apply as well.
Yeah.
So it's been, you know, it's good measure that they are doing. You know, it's health first, you know, public health first. And then but man, it's interesting times, very interesting times. You know?
When we were kids, we used to think our parents were tough. Now the government's tougher. They showed our parents how to do it. Okay, Papa, now you have 2 hours to go out. You 2 hours and you come back. Take permit.
And it was funny because I was back in 1 hour and a half. And then the app gave me like a push notification saying that you have 30 minutes to get back home.
Oh shit.
So it keeps giving you 10 more minutes. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm home already.
Countdown, alarm.
Yes.
Your mama calls you, why are you not home, Habib? Oh shit, man, crazy. How do you feel the difference between your life in UAE and your life in Saudi? Because they're similar, but they're a bit different.
Yeah. I like to compare everything to a fight. You know, you bring into a fight environment. I think UAE, it's like a warm-up for you to live in Saudi.
I like that. Okay.
So it was not so shocking for me, you know. Here it's a close place. Like, you know, it's very different than UAE in some aspects. UAE is very open-minded already. But I used to go to the western region in UAE, and then I could feel how it would be if I live in Saudi, because we always talk about Saudi a lot there. Like, oh, Saudi, you think UAE is close? If you go to Saudi Arabia, it's 10 times more, you know? It's like, especially when you're coming from Brazil to UAE, you feel a difference, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Brazil is so open, so everything, it's normal. Like, people can wear bikinis in malls, let's say, you know?
Exactly. Can you imagine...
Can
you imagine going from there? Can you imagine going from Brazil straight to Saudi?
Oh, I think it would be unbelievable. But here, you know, it's opening up a lot now. It's not mandatory to wear. For the women, I think it's the biggest challenge. It's not mandatory to wear a abaya anymore, so they can dress as long as they are respectful, you know. By the way, I like this side a little bit, like,
okay.
Brazil is just too open for me. It's like I was always more conservative, you know. And then even when I'm going to Brazil now, it's shocking. You know, I went to Brazil. I spent almost 1 month in Brazil last year in November, and then I was like, oh my God, you know, it's so how people dress like that. You know, because I'm living out of Brazil for, you know, almost 15 years. You know.
That's so interesting.
By the time that, and then now it's different for me. I remember our first vacation. It took me like 3-4 years to have my first vacation since I moved to UAE. And then we went to Vegas, me and my wife and my kids, of course. And then when we got there, it took us like 5 minutes looking to one side, to other side, and like, oh my God, so shocking, so different, you know. But
that's just 4 years.
At the end of the day, we are Brazilians, you know. We get back quickly, you know. But it's just the first contacts are really like different, you know. But Saudi, we are adapting well, you know. The kids love it here. They really love the school, you know. They have a lot of friends already. I think for kids, it's just way faster to adapt. Yeah. Absolutely. And then one really nice thing that happened to me when I got here is, I was start teaching again. It was something that I love to do, you know.
I see.
I became a coach again, and then it's kind of by option because I work and I'm a director of Arena, and then we have coach there. And then I asked, you know, I want to have 1 hour a day. I want to have my class.
Yes.
So I start teaching class again, and then it's just, you know,
It
I miss
clicks.
that so much. It makes me like really happy to pass my knowledge and then
That's
to
incredible.
be there with my students and then feel they are like my family here, you know.
Yeah.
So we build a really nice community here. You know, they were training before, but we have a lot of purple belts there, brown belts, and some black belt students.
Amazing.
So it was really nice for me. It was really, I needed that in my life, you know, because
Yes.
in UAE I was training myself, and then you become, when you have an professional athlete life, if I can say that,
Of course you
uh,
can.
you kind of selfish, you know. You
Yes.
have to be. It requires you to be. You don't want to, you know, teaching, and then you there for you, you know. I remember I used not training with blue belts or purple belts or brown belts even. I was training with black belts only if there was a student in class in UAE. I used to go to the other side. It's not because, you know, I respect everyone. I was a
of course
white belt before.
You have a mission.
But I had, exactly, you know. And even sometimes somebody asks me, "Oh, can you help this guy a little bit?" Yeah, of course. I go there, I train a little bit with him. But in my mind, it was like, no, I want to train with a black belt.
Yes.
Because I believe there is nowhere, you know, there is no such place like UAE. People don't realize this, you know. People don't know that.
Exactly.
You're stepping on the mats and then you see like 70 black belts or even more, or even sometimes 30, 20, you know. I used to be in a place that there is one black belt per city. On this city, there is one black belt, you know.
Exactly, yes.
Like the city that I came from in Brazil, there was 2 black belts, you know. And then you're stepping on the mats with 70 guys, and then it's amazing. I'm sure there is no such a training with this high quality
100%.
and with calibers that we have in UAE.
Man, that's what I was like. That's what I try to highlight. Is it's not that we don't have it or don't have even better than some places. It's that we don't have the camera, the focus on it. Like when we see, with all due respect to every initiative, but people like independent media because when it is a company projecting an image, people like it's a company or corporate image. When Coca-Cola shows you an advertisement, you don't believe it. You like it, you like the colors, but you resist a little bit. In the US, you have many independent medias that show Renzo Gracie's gym. They show Atos gym in California, Los Angeles, and you're like, wow, these places must be amazing. But man, like that place is nice. It's a boutique compared to what we have here. We have a mall of jiu-jitsu.
Exactly. Yeah. And people don't realize sometimes we don't have. There's no IBJJF World Champions on the mat or even World Champions, but the guys are really good. They have a world class and world champion level, you know.
100%.
I used to train with, man, it's unbelievable. I don't want to mention names, but I remember every day was like, we used to say it's a war every day. It's a competition every day. Because you have such a good guys training, you know. And then some guys, they never compete. They don't want to compete. They like to be there and live in this environment of being involved with jiu-jitsu and community, and then they just don't like to compete.
Everybody has their own path.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. No, that's
and then
it's interesting. Sorry, I really want to touch on something that you mentioned that I never even thought about, which is I always, you know, we always look at it, the Brazilians coming here in the Middle East, learning from the Brazilian coaches and stuff. But it's so interesting how you said, because you've lived here so long, when you went back to Brazil, you felt weird in the beginning, right? You got influence, and in Saudi you feel comfortable because of the reserved culture. A lot of people in the West, they don't understand this, and they look at it as religious. It is not religious. Like it's
a tradition. Religions and tradition, it's something different, right?
And in order to be able to judge something, you must try it, and you tried it. So when Jose Jr. tells me, I don't like this aspect, I respect it because I know you tried it. But a lot of people from the West, they say, I don't like how they don't allow women to wear what they want and stuff. Like, come here first. Sure, if you still believe it after you live here, I respect it. But first come here before you judge it. And I really respect that you adapted this into your own tradition.
Yeah. And then I believe when you are in a new place, you have to find a way to adapt, you know. You're not going to change a country, a culture, or, you know. They are learning. They are seeing, okay, this is good on this aspect. This is not good. This is better. And then I think it's very respectful, you know, the way that the women's dress here, and then even in UAE, it's UAE, it's opening up more, but still, you know, there is a certain levels, and then that people follow, you know.
Yes.
And then, yeah, for me, it was like, it was okay to adapt, you know. At the beginning, I think for the women, it's a little bit different, but even my wife, she adapted very well. She loves abaya now. She goes and buys.
Oh, that's cool.
And then
I like that.
she make a customized ones, you know.
Yeah.
And then we just adapted, you know. And then like you said, a lot of people, they never came here. They just see something online, and then they tend, exactly. And then when you criticize something, tends to have more attention when you say, it's different when you say good things, you know. Absolutely. But what I can say for about the Arabic community, and then even Muslims, that I didn't know any Muslim before I came to this part of the world, it was like very respectful people. It's a beautiful religion, you know. It's amazing. One thing that I find it amazing is it was shocking for me first time I saw it. People praying anywhere, you know, so they showing their faith. It doesn't matter. I saw it in the middle of the street.
Interesting observation. Yes.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know. And then sometimes people who are super religious, but they are ashamed to pray, to show their faith, you know. But the Muslims, they go there, they put the thing on the floor, and then the carpets on the floor, and then
absolutely
they pray anywhere. I saw it the first time, and then we recorded. It was me and my friend. We went to Musafa.
Oh wow! Okay.
And people stop in the middle of the street. They put the carpets on the floor, and they start praying. There was like, oh my God, what is this? I find it really nice, you know.
Yes.
It's a beautiful
they're hardcore thing. In Musafa. They're hardcore. Like they'll stop. You know the pedestrian crossing on the road, the speed bump. Oh! Let me put the carpet. They will stop there if they can.
Yeah. So I found it really interesting. Then I remember I arrived, first time when I arrived to UAE was 1 month before Ramadan. And then in Ramadan also, it was really, I always looked at the good side. Oh my God, these guys, they have so much faith. They have you know, they fasting for the whole month, you know. Yeah. I don't know how many hours a day, but, you know, it's a beautiful religion. It's a beautiful country. And the way that especially the Brazilian guys, they are very respected there in UAE, you know. And here also, I can't say anything, like people really appreciate what we are doing. We feel that they appreciate what we are doing, you know.
Absolutely.
And then I have friends here, Arabic friends, that they are my family forever. They will be my family. You know?
I see them on YouTube. Many people right now. I see you, Ruth. There's Yasser Dabbar. There's Basim Al Chahal. There's a bunch of people saying hi. I usually don't talk about chat in the interview, but I see so much love for you. I just wanted to show you that there's so many people. Marcos Paulo, Fabio Gomez, Bruno Batista.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Manuel
I love you. Wow. No, my family. That's my family. I spent almost half of my life here already. You know. So and then crazy, I love it. It's been a great experience. And if you ask me, I used to say that I would never leave UAE. You know, I used to say that, never in my life, forever. My friends, the guys that are really close to me, that the first months and the first years, I used to say, I'm never gonna leave UAE forever. But you know, with time, life, and then things happening, good things. Sometimes, like I said, like I used to tell everyone, I didn't leave UAE because of anything bad happened. You know, I just wanted to start a new thing, you know.
Absolutely.
I have a really good job there. I have nothing to complain. I was really happy there, my family and everything. But I felt that I had to try something new. I wanted to achieve another things. I wanted to and it was really nice to come into Saudi Arabia because I feel that I'm starting everything over again, you know.
I see.
And then from the things that I learned in UAE, I'm sure that I can improve things here. I can make things differently, like some paths that we took there, and then we can try to make it better here, you know.
That's
and then I'm learning. Yeah, I'm learning a lot here. I'm working with Arena. as I mentioned earlier.
What is
And
Arena?
then
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's Arena Fitness Innovation. It's the name of the gym. It's a prime gym here in Saudi Arabia.
Is it really big?
It's really big. They have 5 locations.
Ooh, okay.
And then they are like a CrossFit martial arts gym, you know. And our main focus there in Jiu-Jitsu, it's kids and character education through Jiu-Jitsu.
I like that.
You know. Okay. It's more. It's still on the educational part. It's something that I learned a lot in UAE. Also implementing Jiu-Jitsu in schools, and then I work for Saudi Jiu-Jitsu Federation, where we're starting having a lot of initiatives putting Jiu-Jitsu in university, and then we're being approached by the Minister of Education, Minister of Defense. So there is a lot of things that can happen here in the future to build a big project, you know. Sure. And then one nice thing that I learned more, and then I focus more here was on the business part as well. You know,
I see you studying finance as well. Yeah,
something crazy, unbelievable. Because after I always wanted just to train in Jiu-Jitsu in my life. You know, but I was forced by my family. They didn't want to do university study or do university or anything. Wow. My dream was always, I work here with Master Ricardo Liborio also.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then but he's not based here. He's based in US, but he comes like 3-4 times a year.
Sure.
And then I told him, I never only training in my life. Like I never had the chance to I'm full-time Jiu-Jitsu player or something, you know.
I see.
I was always doing something. So when I graduated, when I was doing university, I was like, after I finish this, I'm never gonna study again. I just wanna train. I don't wanna read any book. I don't wanna do anything.
What did you study?
Computer science.
Computer science. Okay, so it's an interesting major, not a typical one.
Yeah. Most of the guys that train Jiu-Jitsu, they do physical education, you know.
Sure, exactly.
Or physiotherapy, it's only the smartest one, like zombie.
Yes, absolutely.
But PE, like physical education, most of the guys, maybe 90% of the guys that do any graduation, Jiu-Jitsu. They end up doing physical education.
Can you tell me something, Jose? I want to know more about you. When did you start Jiu-Jitsu? How young?
I started, I was like 14 to 15 years old.
Okay. So teenager.
Teenager, yes. Okay. And then...
was it your family or your choice?
No, it was a friend of my family. Like I used to play a lot of video games, and then I had a motorcycle. So it wasn't having a health lifestyle.
Okay.
So, and then he always told me, like, you have to go to Jiu-Jitsu. And one day I was playing video game and he turned off the TV. He took the control from my hand and then he said, I'm going to take you to Jiu-Jitsu now. He like kind of forced me.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh,
he really cares about you.
Yeah, but he was not that close. You know, he used to go to my house like once a month or every 2 months. He's a friend, but he's not so close. And then he forced me to go, let's go.
Wow.
And then I said, okay, let's try. And then, man, since the first day, I really loved, like, I said, oh my God, I really like to try. I had the zero talent. I used to tell this to everyone, like, I was so bad.
Physically and technically.
Technically, everything, you know. And then my coach, he invited me, he said, oh, there is a competition if you want to go and watch.
Oh, shit.
Or if you want to compete. And I said, okay, I had maybe 2-3 months training.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't know many things. I remember the guy, he took my arm across and then he sweep and mount like 6-7 times. Man. I think they finished there because it used to be the manual one.
They had to write.
And then I took this as a challenge, you know.
I like that.
I understood, oh my God, this is nice, you know, the feeling, the adrenaline.
Yes.
So I'm going to take it serious. But for me I used to tell this to everyone, for me to win the first fight, it took me 7 tournaments, you know. I was always losing. But it keeps me motivated, you know.
Yeah.
And I had a really good coach. His name is Juarez Soares. He has a team in Rio de Janeiro. It's very traditional academy there.
You grew up in Rio?
In Rio, yeah. It's not Rio City, it's in Rio State. It's like 100 kilometers away from the capital.
What's the area called?
Araruama.
Araruama, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
It's a city like 1.5 hours from Rio.
Okay.
I born in Rio, but then I moved to there when I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
And then, so this guy, he used to take us for all the competitions. He's like a father figure to me. Like, he helped me a lot to develop and everything. He didn't let me give up, you know.
And physically, what did you do physically? Because you're saying you used to be a gamer and motorcycle, unhealthy lifestyle. Did it change your habits, your health, like you feel?
Yes, of course. Because when I first competition was a game changer in my life and everything, you know.
I see.
Because I competed and then I felt bad and sad and then but I'm not going to give up. You know, I'm going to come back and then I will train more. And then I start to learn, okay, if I eat better, I'm going to perform better, you know. So my goal changed, you know.
I see.
And then I loved, after the first competition, I tell you, I knew, I even told my mom, she got crazy. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu for the rest of my life. That's what I want to work with.
Wow.
I told her, I don't want to, I knew, after my first competition, I knew. I said, oh, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
You're a committed person.
It was a decision, yes.
Wow.
You know? I used to train in like 6 hours a day in Brazil, you know, all day training in the gym. I arrived in the gym at 4 p.m. and then I just leave 10:30 p.m. every day. Oh my
God. Were you a quiet... sorry, but like I just want to get to understand more the psychology, because it's very interesting. Were you a quiet kid, reserved, or were you social, open?
No, until now it's hard for me to do these things. I don't feel comfortable in front of the cameras and then to talk. Yeah. But I remember my coach, he notes that I used to arrive in the gym and then and don't talk to anyone. And he used to joke about, because didn't even say hi to anyone. Just go inside, quiet, sit on the corner, start the class, I do my thing, and then go home. And then after some times we got to know more, you know, we created a relationship. And then one day he told me, Junior, you're going to teach a technique today. Oh my God, it was the worst feeling.
Because he knew this is difficult for you.
Yes. And then I was like, oh, okay. This guy go first, after it's you, Junior. Man, I couldn't say anything. I was like, okay, grab here, do this, boom. And then I left. And that is a funny story about it. I was so shy. I was 16 years old, 16.
Okay.
And then I got my blue belt. I went to Pan Am's in USA.
Wow.
And then I got second place. And when I came back to the city, they made a party, like the mayor and they make second place in Pan Am's, really nice. We had
Araruama party.
Araruama party for them was a big thing. It's a small city, you know. It was me and 2 more friends. It was 3 of us. And then we went to a competition. And then one of the guys, he wanted to talk about us, like, these guys, they went to USA. I got second. My 2 of the friends, they got first.
That's amazing.
And then he said, and then I asked him before 3 or 4 times, do I have to say anything? Do I have to talk on the microphone? And then he said, no, you don't have to do anything. You sure I don't have? Because I wanted to prepare my mind before, you know?
Yes.
And then I asked, please let me know if I have to say something, or if you want me to say anything. And then he said, no problem. Man, the guy, after 1 minute to talk, no, congratulations to the guys. They went to Pan America, blah, blah, blah. And he gave me the microphone.
Oh, shit.
I wanted to kill the guy.
What did you say? What was the first thing that came to your mind?
No, I couldn't say anything.
Oh, no.
Really? I was so ashamed. Like, and I think he remembered that how nervous I was. Yeah. And then he pulled the microphone back. And he said, they will thank you guys on the fights. They're going to make up a show for you guys.
Smart guy.
He kind of saved me.
Nice.
But I couldn't say anything.
Oh man, of
So,
course, man. That's your city.
but it was fun. And then after this, my coach, he took as a mission for him. Now I have to teach it. He was kind of tough, Now I have to teach you how to talk. Okay, we're gonna teach class every day now. I want to see you teaching techniques. And then I was
What a guy.
And then now I can. Not that it's something that I feel
Clearly
doing, but I can now. I can.
Man, it's amazing, like, because this whole jiu-jitsu gives you this level of confidence, but then winning a competition and seeing people appreciate you, like, I'm sure that felt good as a kid growing up, like as a shy kid.
Yeah, for sure. It changed my life. After this, we went to radio stations. We went to, they made us a big deal in the city. And on the years, like 16, 17, 18 years. And we won. There was me and two of my friends. They were very talented in jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah.
We used to win almost every competition in Rio, in Brazil, like Brazilian National Championship, and then World Championships and Pan Ams, and we kept fighting and competing. So the city make this is a big deal. They start sponsoring us, the government, and they want to use us, our image, and then they want us to thank the mayor and the city and the sponsorship all the time.
Wow.
So they have concerts in the city for, I don't know, 50,000 people, 60,000 people. We had to go there. Oh, thanks for everyone. Thanks for the support. We are here with our new medal.
I love it.
And then I had to develop. And then I was like,
you were forced.
It's fine. Yeah,
I like that, man. Araruama is a very happening place, man. There's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah. But this guy, he used to love jiu-jitsu, this mayor. And then he was as a mayor for 8 years,
Yeah.
So, and then he really helped us, me and a few other guys.
I love to hear this.
From white belt to the black belt, man. He sponsored us.
You stayed there all the way?
All the way. On the end of my brown belt, I moved to US, and then I got my black belt in USA.
Interesting. Okay. And like while you were growing up in Araruama and training, when did you feel like you found your jiu-jitsu? Like you loved it from the day one, but when did you find your jiu-jitsu that made you confident in your skill?
After like this, I used to say, after these 7 tournaments, I felt like, oh my God, I'm never going to make it. It's so hard. And then, but I said, but I will not give up. So I'll give you my best, and then I give my best, and then let's see what happens.
Okay.
I start winning like every single competition. It was so hard to win the first one, and then I didn't lose more in the white belt. Like
white belt, okay.
Yeah, after 6-7 months, I start competing a lot, and then I was 1 year winning everything.
Wow.
And then when I got my blue belt, I start winning everything again, like at the beginning of the blue belt. And then I was like, oh, I can be good at this,
Did you play a certain style of game, or were you just going in porrada, let's go?
Yeah, at the beginning was this. Even when I was black belt, I had this problem, like to have a better strategy, I have few guys in UAE that helped me a lot, by the way.
Okay.
But I used to go always 100%. Let's see what happens,
Wow,
but I was training so much.
That's impressive, yeah.
I was training so much that I didn't have a game plan. And my game plan was give my best.
Yeah.
And then I felt really above of my opponents, I remember a competition that I did maybe 8-9 fights, and then I submit all the fights when I was blue belt. Brazilian National Championship.
And which weight class were you?
This time it was way lighter.
How much?
I was 82.
82. Okay, so middleweight.
Middleweight, yeah. 82 300.
Wow, yeah. And because you're training 6 times a day, 6 hours a day, you're training 6 days a week.
It was unbelievable. I was 120 kilos when I started, and then I dropped to
before
79, 74 before jiu-jitsu.
Just jiu-jitsu or food?
Just jiu-jitsu. And at the beginning, I kept eating the same way. After sometimes I got mature, and then I learned that if I eat better, I will perform better. But my focus was never to be in shape. My focus was 100%
jiu-jitsu.
Fight, and that's it.
And until today, do you like believe in strength training with jiu-jitsu, or do you just do jiu-jitsu? Yes.
This was for me. I believe when I changed from amateur to become a professional, like to have chance against the big guys and the the top guys, was after I have a professional conditioning training. Because the workout, you go there and work out,
Instagram and go out.
and go out, But when you have a professional with you, that you don't have to think about it, And then I always had this style of, if I believe in someone, in what he's doing, I don't ever gonna question him, And that is a funny story also. It's I did a lot of conditioning training for many years. I started maybe, when I was brown belt, to be serious, not to go and work out. Okay. But there was a guy that really changed me. It was Marcelo. He's in the UAE. Marcelo Saraldi.
Okay.
He's in UAE. He's a short guy.
Okay. Hair. Yeah. Yes. Okay. I know.
Okay. So this guy, he was like he changed my psychological aspect also of conditioning training, and more professional. And then he was with me making notes every single training. And then it's funny because I start doing my conditioning training with him in 2014 or 15. I was with him almost 3 years. Okay. And then he told me, Junior, I need 2 years. In 2 years, you're going to become a world champion.
Wow.
And then I told him, I was so upset when he told me this, to be honest. Because I looked at him, man, I've been trying for a long time. I lost 3-4 finals already. You tell me still 2 more years? No. It's too much, man. I want now, this year.
What was his reason?
He said that was the time that he needed to
build your muscles, build your conditioning.
My muscle, and then improve my condition to be at top level to win a world championship. And
also, funny, he wants to manage your expectations also.
Yeah, but he was 100% honest, He was like, in 2 years, but I felt confidence on him. In 2 years, you're going to get first place. And then I was like, okay. I was upset, but, okay, let's see. Sure. And then I remember the first year that I start training with him, I won almost everything that I competed in UAE.
Wow.
And then I got to the final of the open class with Felipe Pena.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. And then, it was, I don't think I fought well, but it's fine. But I had a really good year, okay? And then he told me, I told you, Junior, remember when we started? I told you, I need 1 more year. 1 more year, you're going to win.
What was the reason you didn't win? Like, did you feel it was physical or mental or jiu-jitsu?
I think it was a combination of everything, you know? I think it was a combination. I think it was more like rhythm, like
your rhythm.
My rhythm of competition. I think I was competing a lot in UAE only, you know, and then I couldn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to fight the big names other than on the World Pro, you know. So I was 1 year competing against the same guys, with all my respect to my opponents.
Yeah.
You know, they make me improve so much.
But you know their game also, and you felt them before.
And then I didn't have because, you know, if you see top competitor, he's competing at the Pan Ams, he's competing at the World Championship, he's competing at the European. So he's kind of feel his body and his game against the other guys, you know.
Yes.
You can see some big names, they lose fights sometimes, you know.
Yes.
And then I felt that I was lacking on this. And then I decided on my 2016-17 season that, okay, I'm going to compete everywhere I can. I'm going to spend all the money I can. I'm going to do everything perfect because this is going to be my last year.
Wow.
Yeah, I traveled maybe 12 countries in 12 trips, not 12 countries, 12 trips in 6-7 months.
Did you compete in IBJJF or just UAEJJ?
Just UAE, because I was on the ranking.
Yes, exactly.
You know? But I competed in Brazil, and then those guys, they were there. It was the first on the Grand Slam, and the Grand Slam, and then on the King of the Mats, and those competitions.
And
those
Grand
big
Slam,
names.
Los Angeles is huge.
It's huge. It's huge. Was the only Grand Slam that I lost on the finals on this year. All the other ones, I lost to what's his name? Oh my God, forgot.
Okay, we'll check. 2016.
2016. Okay. He's from Checkmate. He's a blonde hair. I won against him on the World Pro, and then I lost on the. He's really good in footlocks.
Okay, so maybe somebody in chat will add it.
Yeah. But he's famous. Okay. But and then it was the only Grand Slam that I lost, But I felt him, I felt other guys, and then I compete against Gabriel Arges and Xande, and those guys that are always winning, And then I felt, okay, I can do it.
Panza?
Panza.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Marcos Paulo.
Panza. And then I fought against so many names, and then I felt that okay, I can win. Okay. It gave me the confidence and the adjustment on the training as well.
Interesting.
Because I have a friend in UAE that used to tell me, you're not a car of one race only. You have to keep racing.
Yes. Endurance,
exactly. And then it's like, okay, and then I felt, here is where I'm lacking. Here is where I have to improve.
I see.
And then it was fine. I could manage my game. And then actually I won after 2 years, the guy told me.
Unbelievable,
right? It's such a nice story. And even we sometimes cry about it because we're very emotional about it.
Of course.
Because, man, I remember we used to start training, working out, every conditioning training 9 p.m. And then we stay until almost 11 every night. We were very tired for the day.
Because you're working all day.
I was working all day, and he was working all day also in school, So, and then I had to go training at the arena, and after I had to do the conditioning training. So I used to arrive home 11:30 p.m. to wake up 5 a.m. to do cardio every morning.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And then I spoke with him last week, and then we always remember the same thing. Oh, I told you 2 years. And then it was really actually.
You were doing this for 2 years, waking up early cardio and then training at night.
Yes, it was part of my life.
Man, that's the thing. People understand it now when they hear it from you. There's levels. There's commitment levels to reach the top of black belt, heavyweight. Like you competed at the top of the top. It's not like that's why when you're saying if I can say I'm a professional, of course you can fucking say you're a professional athlete. You did everything a professional needs to do. And can I ask you something? When you're going into a competition in that year, did you used to have a ritual, something that you had to follow, like a sequence before going to the competition, a mentality?
Yeah, I used to have these.
Okay.
But the thing that happened with me was like when something go out of like, let's say, okay, I have this ritual of, okay, I want to hear this music. I want to wear this gi. I want to wear this belt.
Okay.
So it's like superstitious a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Black cat walks by. Oh shit.
And then when something goes wrong, I start collapsing. Like my mind was like, oh my God,
yes.
What am I gonna do now? I don't have my music. I don't have my iPods. And by the time we used iPod, I don't have my headset. I don't have my sleepers. So I start becoming crazy about it.
Wow. Okay.
So and then I stopped this. I just start feeling super confident. This was Marcelo. He helped me a lot on this, on my psychological.
Just by hard work.
Man, you're training that much. You think music is gonna make you lose the fight, and then I was like, oh my God, yes, And then you start thinking like, man, for this guy, if he wants to beat me, like, man, he has to do it's 200%. He has to do more than his best, because I will do more than my best. Yeah. My best is not enough. So I start feeling super confident that, okay, I start looking brackets with all my respect to everyone, but I have a strategy. Yes. Okay, this guy are going to do this. This guy are not going to get so tired because after I have this guy, this other guy.
Interesting.
sometimes I had problems because of this, but you know,
because you went porrada mode.
No, because I went too calm, and then when I had to change to porrada, it was too late. You know.
Okay.
But I was much like I have this mindset of okay, this fight I know it's gonna be okay. This fight, you know, with all my respect to everyone.
Of course.
Because I was working so hard.
That's the athlete. That's how you be a professional in a competition. Because if you're doing a super fight and you focus, that's what you have to do. Like boxers, they don't disrespect the opponent by studying and by what their weakness is. This is the game. You have to do this for 4 or 5. Like if you have 4 fights, you have to do this for 8 people because you don't know who's gonna win the bracket and match with you, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I remember when I was telling my students here. I remember one fight against a guy from Portugal. He's a big guy, very strong. He won the world championship in the brown belt, and then in Abu Dhabi he won in the brown belt as well. And then he won Copa Pódio in Brazil. A lot of things against black belts, but I didn't know him.
Okay, good.
And I used to research about everyone, of course, in my bracket, all the possibilities. I used to study the guys and then see what they do best.
Amazing.
But this guy, I didn't do it. Manuel Pontes, his name.
Okay.
This guy, I didn't do it. And then when I saw from Portugal, Manuel Pontes, maybe this guy's a new black belt. I'm not going to search about it. Oh, my God. I won the fight maybe on the last 10 seconds, but it was tie even.
Wow.
It was a nightmare, the fight. The guy was so good, way stronger than me.
Athletic.
And then I started the fight really slow, say, oh, okay, I'm going to feel the guy.
And he started crazy.
It was too late it was too late. But ended up working well. It was fine. Wow. There's this fight in YouTube. It's
I definitely want to see it because here's the thing: like you were competing in heavyweight, right?
Yeah, heavyweight.
And heavyweight is not just a jiu-jitsu technical battle; it's also a mindset battle because you're looking at guys that look terrifying. Like we were all kids, okay, all of us. From you to the biggest competitors in the heavyweight division, we were all little kids that used to look at big, huge, scary guys and be like, shit. So you are in the big, huge, scary guys division. So when you go to a fight, you see a big guy, you got to have confidence in your strength, your ability to go head to head.
Sure.
Wow.
But one strategy that I developed was like, I was never like super athletic and strong. Never got really strong. And then like these guys in my division, you know.
Okay.
But I noticed that they don't move so much. They don't let their jiu-jitsu doesn't flow so much, you know. They are kind of and they doing things step by step. They don't risk so much. They are very precise, you know. But I realized that, okay, I'm 105, 110 kilos. If I move more, if I put up speed on my game, even though it doesn't look like that, but for a heavyweight, it becomes a different, something different, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then, of course, we start this on the training. You're going to fight in the way that you train, right? So, and then I start changing my game on this way. Okay, I have to move because I'm not going to be super strong like these guys. Sure. You know?
So side to side, like trying to change the angles, not face them head on.
Exactly. And then I knew that, man, some of the guys that they use compete in UAE, man, their arm is like my head, you know?
Yeah, I know.
So I was like, no, man. For me to be strong like these guys, sometimes it's a genetics also. It helps, you know? Yeah. For me to be strong like this guy, it's going to take me 10 years, you know?
Exactly.
But I can be faster than him. Yeah. I can move better than him. I can learn how to place my hips better than him, you know. And then it was luck. It was luck. It was hard work and luck, but
yeah,
it you know, like it was a good point, you know. It helped me a lot.
I don't know if you remember that year, but I posted on Instagram a story of me and my nephew and my nieces watching you, and we were cheering for you.
Yeah, I remember. Of course.
The funny story, Jose, is my nephew was starting jiu-jitsu, and he was always terrified of bigger kids, okay? He saw you fighting in that year. I think it was the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam. and you were fighting in your division against the big, huge guys that we all know exist here, right? And you were fighting a fight in the heavyweight division. You're not a light guy. You're 110 kilos. But the guy you were fighting looked so much bigger than you that the kids in my house, they're looking like, Uncle, why is he fighting such a big guy? Why? And then when they saw you winning, they're like, they went crazy. You gave them so much excitement from seeing that.
It's nice. It's nice. I encourage a lot of guys on this way, because even I don't look like a fighter, right? I'm wearing glass and then I take it off my glass there.
That's what I love about you.
I don't have the stereotype of fighter, you know.
Exactly.
And then you can show with. It's a proof that hard work, you know.
Exactly.
It's just how much you want, you know.
You touched on such a beautiful point, Jose. So many people think that the image, or the skill requires an image. It's not true. Like genetics, nature, like your early lifestyle. If you grew up as a kid until teenager, which I'm one of them, I grew up with a bad diet, lifestyle, and stuff. Right? I didn't develop my athletic mindset till later. I realize, man, just like you, is you don't have to look a certain way to perform a certain way. It requires just the hard work. A lot of people look too much for the look, and they end up losing the skill because of the look.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I can tell you, it helped my jiu-jitsu not to be too strong, you know, because I had to develop a way of, you know, winning fights, and
a unique way.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it makes a difference in my division.
Very
interesting.
It was,
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like the dynamic of the Middle East Jiu-Jitsu now, because like you're a competitor that comes from Brazil, and then you know what? A step before that, when did you come to the UAE? What year was it?
2009.
2009. Because whenever I talk to people about their origin story and coming to the UAE, you are one of the point men in Rio that they met to come here. Like, you were so early. How old were you when you first came?
21, I believe. 21. Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy. Like, to leave your life
21
in Brazil
or 22.
21.
Yeah.
Were you married?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I was father already. I had 2 kids.
At 21? Good job, man.
I was father with 19.
Good job.
And, yeah. So it was challenging. It was a big challenge for me and my life and for my jiu-jitsu career as well. Because a lot of people, they didn't understand. They didn't have my vision. I saw a future with jiu-jitsu. And I remember my father-in-law. I still with my wife until now. Alhamdulillah, gonna be,
nice.
You know. But
God bless
you. She was my first girlfriend, my only girlfriend. So
amazing.
It's been 15 years now. 20 years now.
More, yeah, man. Time is flying, bro.
I hope she's not watching. But it's been 20 years since I was 15. Since I started jiu-jitsu. And I remember my father-in-law, he's telling me, Junior, when are you going to start to work? And then I told him, no, this, you know, I have a sponsorship. This is like a work for me. You know, I see a future on this. I believe I want to move to US or any other country. That's what I want to do. And then he said, no. You have to find a real job. This is not a job.
Back then, nobody thought jiu-jitsu could provide anything.
But I knew it. That's why I used to tell them, I don't have a plan B.
Amazing.
That's my plan A. I will work with jiu-jitsu. That's it.
Amazing.
You know, I will do anything, but I will work with jiu-jitsu.
And you went first to the US?
I went first to the US, and then I spent a year and a half there.
Okay.
And it's curious that I had to go back to Brazil to do some admin things with my family.
Okay.
And then when I got back to Brazil, I had my working visa in US. And then I just had to go. I had the paper. I had everything. My family, they were there. And then I had to just stamp the visa.
Okay.
And then when I got there to stamp the visa, they just told me, "Oh, you've been too long in US already." You know, it was a really critical time with visas this time. Yeah. And they said, "Oh, we're not going to let you come back now. We're going to revoke your visa." And then I was like, desperate. My family was there. They were my dependents.
Yeah, and you can't go.
I couldn't get it.
It's crazy.
It was fun, yeah. And then, and then I went out. the consulate, and then I was like, oh, what I'm gonna do? And then we tried so many things to get the visa, and then end up the year telling me like, after 1 year you can apply again.
Holy.
But if it was not for that, I would never leave USA, because I had a good job there. I was working with, in a nice gym. I had students that are keeping in touch until now, know.
It's amazing how these circumstances happen.
Yes, and my students that started with me there, they are black. I have maybe 5 or 6 that are black belts now. Not under me, but under my friend that stayed there.
You were a brown belt that time, or black belt?
I was now black belt already.
Black belt. Wow. Okay.
Black
so
belt.
So you got rejected.
I got rejected. And then I start looking online, say, I'm not going to stay in Brazil, I go somewhere. And then there was an advertising on Tatami magazine saying that, we're looking for coaches in UAE.
God bless Tatami magazine. Everybody's telling me Tatami magazine.
Tatami magazine. And then I sent an email, but no one replied. After 24 hours, I was crazy already. I said, I have to find a way. And then I saw they had a blog to register for competitions in UAE. And they had a phone number there. And then I saw the phone number to register for a competition at ADCC Club. And then I called this number, and then I said, oh, man, I'm going to call. I'm going to try something. And then I called the number, and then was a guy very rude. He answered the phone, I'm busy, call me later. Boom. And he hanged up in my face and said, oh. And then I almost scratched UAE from my face.
Oh, no.
And then I called him back, And then when he answered, he was, oh, I'm sorry. I was busy on that time. I'm doing the competition registrations. What can I do for you? And then I was like, oh, I'm looking to go to US, blah, blah, blah. And then, who are you? What's your name? And then I described myself to him, and he said, oh, you are this guy that take it off the glass before you fight. And yeah. Okay, you fought a lot of my students already. My name is Olavo Abreu. It's one of the pioneers in Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
I know you. Of course, you can come. Send me your CV, blah, blah, blah. And then that's how it happens. Incredible. And then he passed the phone to other guys that I knew that were there. And then it happened. It was a circumstance. It was like that destined, let's say. It was God.
Man, look how everything fell together. The guy that watches you take off your glasses competition, you didn't get your visa to the US, and look where you are today.
It was a perfect, if it happened 1 month after, I wouldn't be in UAE, or 1 month earlier, you know. Wow. It was like I had friends in Europe, in Portugal. They were telling me like, oh, Junior, come to Portugal. Let's open up a gym here. Let's do something. So it was the perfect time. If it was maybe 1 week later, it wouldn't happen.
That is unbelievable, man. And so you came to the UAE, and the rest is history. Like the martial arts dynamic from when you came to the UAE to today, the Middle East and the UAE, Saudi Arabia is unique in something, I believe. In Brazil, you loved your jiu-jitsu and you wanted to make money from it, but you couldn't, because sometimes like you had to achieve your finances in order to do jiu-jitsu. Here, it's a little bit of the opposite situation. Here, people tend to be more financially secure, or they have their jobs and income, and it allows them to focus on their jiu-jitsu, let's say, without worrying about the money.
Yes.
Do you think this is an advantage or a disadvantage that they are not, hungry?
For the competition side, it's a disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Okay. Disadvantage. I agree.
Because you have to be, it's hard. It's just some guys that used to be professionals. I know some guys that they have all the talent. They got second place in IBJJF, black belt, or any other guy like was really outstanding. Suddenly he came to UAE, and then he got in a comfort zone. They get in a comfort zone. They don't have the same challenge as they had in Brazil. It's not. I think lifestyle change.
Yes.
You start doing things that you couldn't do before.
Like
you start changing your life. Like I remember when we first arrived, like for Brazil standards, okay, we bought the most expensive cars that we could find in Brazil. We could go to Dubai, and then you could take your family to lunch, such nice places, and then all the time you want. Life changed completely for a lot of. So people lost the. What I did my whole life, and I heard from some guys, because I never happened to me. Even though I had all those nice things, I was always, no, I want to compete. I want to get first place. I want to be world champion. I want to blah, blah,
I
blah.
see.
And then I used to try to convince the other guys, man, are you crazy? You're not going to training. What do you know?
Yeah.
And they tell him, man, I did this my whole life. And then now I just want to enjoy a little bit. And then, you know, I still love jiu-jitsu. I'm going to be teaching class, but I'm not going to go there every day or
absolutely, man,
for 4 hours a day to training for what, you know,
exactly.
like they lost their motivation, you know.
Man, this is the catch-22 for the Arab guys, for the Middle East, like the UAE trying to have a UAE champion, Saudi Arabia to have a Saudi champion, so on. Like they said, and I've heard this a lot in social media, that like the money is not there yet to encourage them enough. But I don't think it's the money.
It's not the money.
How much money can you throw at a person? Even if they give them Conor McGregor money, it's not like Conor McGregor was a plumber that became this.
Yeah.
We are bank managers. or
yeah,
you know, like,
exactly.
It's different. Like, I don't know. Is it possible? Like, do you think with our mindset, can somebody who has a good life career shift to jiu-jitsu? Because a lot of people, they want to, but do you think they can go to that level?
Okay, you can compare to soccer a little bit. I think soccer is way ahead, like for so many hundreds of years ahead of jiu-jitsu.
Nice comparison.
Yeah. Like if you see the best players from Brazil, they are from a poor family or from, you know, because when you have a structure and someone already like, because I think a father, he just want to give a good life to their kids. Like, okay, you're going to be a manager, you're going to have this business, or you're going to work in the military like a lot of guys in UAE going to do. Yes. You're going to be a high rank in the military. You're going to be, so it's like they plan your security. Life because they want the best for you, you know?
Yes.
So it's very rare when somebody with everything like in place change their mindset to, because you have to suffer a lot to get to a first place. It's like, it's not easy. You get injured. You have to spend a lot of time. You are away from your family, you know? In my case, like, man, I just could see I used to see my kids on the weekends, you know? That was a sacrifice that I did. Like I said before, you gotta be selfish a little bit to achieve this. So, it's
with jiu-jitsu and MMA, let's say in specific, look at Jordan, look at Lebanon, because they come from poor circumstances, more difficult life, and they don't have anything secure. Their life could go up or down, and this is, I feel, such an important factor for success in martial arts.
Yeah, I remember I heard from Carlos Gracie Jr. I had 50 kids from UAE fighting IBJJF in 2014. And then we went there, and then I introduced Carlinhos Gracie is the one that gave me the black belt. So, and then I introduced some of the guys, and then I introduced Khalifa. He don't have 4 fingers of his hand. He was the top player in UAE by this time. And then I introduced him to Carlinhos, and then, this is one of the best. And Carlinhos and Jean-Jacques Machado. Yes. He has exactly the same. And then Carlinhos said, man, I'm sure this guy is good, because everyone that struggles on some part of their life, they make a way to become a champion, you know?
That's so true.
It's like, it's not impossible, you know, but it's
more difficult.
It's more difficult, you know. It's more difficult.
So imagine, Jose, the GCC becomes full of black belts in 10 years, right? Because like these kids that are training now and that have been training for the last 4 or 5 years, eventually when they're 20, 21, they're going to become black belts. What happens then? What do you imagine the region looking like with so many black belts? Because you guys, like, in Brazil, in Canada, in USA, 10 guys show up to the class, you know, in an academy, 20 if it's a very successful. UAE is like 100 per class, you know? What happens when a good percent of them become black belt, in your opinion?
Okay, my opinion is that it's not this generation. You have to focus about it. It's the next generation, you know? And the 2 generations after, you know? The thing is, even when I was working in Palm Sports, we used to have audit of the program. It's a very expensive program. There's a company that comes on say year and audits if we are delivering what we have been
of course
in contract. So, and this guy, he was working 20 years in UAE, and then he looked at me, and then he said, I was extracurricular activities manager. So it's everything to do with competitions and everything. In my mind, it's always competition. That's how you're going to be, challenge yourself, and you're going to win medals, and you're going to overcome, blah, blah, blah. And then he told me, oh, Junior, what's the best thing that Jiu-Jitsu is doing for UAE? And then I told him, we are teaching the kids how to be mentally stronger, education, we bring a new culture. And then he said, no, you're missing the point. And then I told him, no, these kids are changing the behavior and everything, all the beautiful things of Jiu-Jitsu. And then he said, no, you're teaching them how to lose. It's the first time they are losing in life. And then I told him, no, and they didn't agree. In the beginning, no, we want them to be winners, champions, gold medals. They said, no, you're teaching them how to lose. It's the first time in their life that they go there and they lose. There is no Baba, there's no mama there to help you. It's you, your opponent, the referee, and God. That's it. No one can do it for you. No one can. So true. No one can make you become a blue belt or a purple belt other than you, Because one thing is you have the belt. Are you purple belt? Are you brown belt? Are you black belt? Have the belt, I can go there and buy a red belt for me, But people that train in Jiu-Jitsu, we feel that,
Yes, you can't lie on the mats, yes.
Yeah, so answering your question, that's why I wanna just, so I believe this generation is not the generation yet, because you see, we're changing a nation. We sometimes I talk like if I'm there already. They are changing a nation, a culture. This is so impactful, because I believe UAE is a very new country, right? It's like 50 years old. I'm not sure how many.
Almost.
Yeah. So you see, the generation before this one, they used to live in the desert. They used to ride camels and everything.
Exactly.
So you have when they talk to their parents, they don't know what Jiu-Jitsu is. It's like, okay, go, no problem. This is good. Okay, compete. Medallia, nice. Zen. That's it. They don't have the values. But with their kids, they will encourage their kids.
Yes.
You're doing Jiu-Jitsu in school? Really nice. I did it as well. It helped me a lot.
Nice.
Okay? And imagine the third generation and the fourth,
I see.
It's same as I heard this from the guys, even the female. They have, if your mom doesn't want you to do something,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, It's not being thinking about men and everything, but, the female, they're going to be the mothers of the nation,
Yes.
They're going to be the mothers of the next generation. So it's a mentality change, a long term. Whoever is thinking about, okay, I want them to get medals. I want them to. It's way beyond this. Like you can't measure the impact. You can't measure. Like,
that's the thing. That the impact of Jiu-Jitsu is 100% available, right? Yeah. It's different than the competition and the results because you see it, man. I'm born in Abu Dhabi and I raised my whole life here. I can see with my own eyes the culture changing because of Jiu-Jitsu. The advertisements, Jiu-Jitsu everywhere, people discipline, bowing, like the Emirati guys I grew up with here, it's not that they didn't mix with the Westerners a lot. It's not that they didn't want to. It's that they felt there was a huge wall. Mm-hmm. I know this because I grew up in Emirati schools and then the Western schools. The Emirati guys always felt like there was this wall in culture, in tradition, and everything, and we cannot connect. After Jiu-Jitsu, there's no wall anymore. It's slap, bump, hug, fist bump. Like they have something to connect immediately. Like when I go to Germany, when I go to France, Spain, I don't know anybody. I go to a Jiu-Jitsu gym. Walls down. I have friends. The Emirati guys in their own home country, because UAE is like 80% non-Emirati population. So sometimes they feel like there's so many strangers in their country. So I really see the value because it gave them that ability to reach out and connect and talk and engage. And you're right. Man, so beautiful what you said about like the next generation though. Like my son growing
Yeah,
up will be
of course.
different.
Yeah. Of course, it'll be. You know, it's like with you. I don't know if you felt the same, because I know you love the sport, and then you've
Yes.
been doing this for many years,
Yes.
and then but you have to explain to your parents what is what
Exactly.
what is this you've been doing all day, spending
They
your
still don't
time like.
understand.
They still like,
Yeah.
my mom, I used to joke about my mom until 3 years ago, she couldn't say jiu-jitsu. She was a jiu-jitsu, jiu. I had to teach her for 10 years how to speak, to say the word jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Imagine if my mom, she was training jiu-jitsu. And then I tell her, she would be the first one to tell me, okay, let's improve your life. Let's take you there to jiu-jitsu, So whoever is thinking that, and even some people, like they keep asking this, where are the Emirati champions? Where is the, on the black belt level, IBJJF and those things?
Sure.
The answer is not there, It's way, I wish other governments and other authorities, other leadership had the same vision, It's not about only having more job on jiu-jitsu. It's not about, it's about changing mentality and changing culture, and then impact people's life, And it's especially nowadays we are so disconnected from each other, right? Like
absolutely
all social media and all TVs, and then people don't play outside anymore. They don't go, and then play soccer, and and with this pandemic also, after this, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to be the reaction. We are open mind.
The priorities.
We want to train in jiu-jitsu. We are in jiu-jitsu already. And how about people that never training before? Maybe they're gonna see jiu-jitsu and they're going to relate. I wish not, but maybe they go, oh my God, it's so close.
Yes.
No,
that's a very good point.
Yeah. So we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yes. It might go opposite. Maybe they'll feel they've been deprived so long of contact. Now they want extreme contact. You never know how people are. Jose, on what you were saying, the UAE's history, like you said, is a very young country. And you see, like, imagine any country around the world that you hear, they tell you, oh, this place, Ababa, this place is only 45 years old, has the tallest building, has the biggest mall, has an economy that makes China come and visit it, has like, you'd be like, what is this bullshit? It's difficult to imagine. Many, many years ago, Sheikh Zayed, who formed this country, may he rest in peace, he was wise, and he has a beautiful quote. He said, human life and humans are worth more than any oil could be worth. And if you invest in them, that's how you grow. And he always believed this, man. Like, I'm from Palestine. My family's from Palestine. Sheikh Zayed, for my father, he was part of a group of engineers that was in scholarship in Palestine from the UAE. And the only condition was that you come and work a little in the UAE. I will pay your education. I will pay what you need. Just come to the UAE and work. That, like, they invested not just in Emiratis, in everybody. And that's why the UAE is what it is today, right? So you're right. Like, if other countries just adopt this mentality, like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and then it's unbelievable how wise they are, and then and in such a young country, right? Like, they took all the mistakes that people been doing for hundreds and thousands of years.
Yes.
And they, what? Let's make it different. You can see even an example from the royal family. They all graduated in the best universities in Europe, in the US, and then.
Oh yeah.
It's not like, okay, you're sitting. We know the reality. Like, you have a lot of money. You have everything that money can buy. So are you going to study still?
Exactly.
It's hard. It's even harder than jiu-jitsu.
Exactly.
Okay, you have your life, you have 10 companies already, you have a job anywhere you want.
Why wake up in the morning? Yeah.
Yeah. Why go to, university, and then you have to all the challenge to. It's a similar scenario, and you see that the difference is there in the country.
Yeah, 100%.
40, 45 years, 50 years, and they are at this stage. Exactly. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
That's why
I saw pictures of Abu Dhabi 20 years ago, and you can see it today. It's like, it's unbelievable.
Man, we can't believe, like, sometimes we sit down with my family, like, can you imagine 20 years ago, we were here on the sand. Like it's crazy for us.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I want to ask you, for everybody listening here that is a colored belt in their journey of jiu-jitsu, trying to seek this mastery. Like, so many people, they're seeking black belt and they see it as not the end, but like the pinnacle. Or some people, they just can't imagine themselves reaching that. Do you have any words of encouragement and advice for people like me?
Yeah, I believe it's like it was a really special day when I got there, because was always something that you look up to. Like you look, oh, it's so hard to get there.
Yeah.
And then you don't imagine yourself being a black belt, especially on a belt that you can have an active person that's still training and is being there for 10, 12, 20 years, which doesn't happen in any other belt. You don't have a 20 years active blue belt or purple belt, So, and then you always see that so far away, like, oh my God, so far. I don't think I ever gonna get there. But it's like an everyday thing. You become a black belt. It's like every day, You become a black belt every day, a little bit more. You're getting close, It's like a medicine. You can't go to the doctor and they say, okay, take this 3 times a day for 10 days. And then you know what? Boom. No. You become a black belt before you get the black belt,
I see.
And the level, a lot of people think, oh, I don't have the level to get the next belt. I don't feel like I'm ready to brown belt.
That's very true.
Or to purple belt. You're never gonna be at level to change the belt. You're never gonna be a brown belt with your purple belt. You're never gonna be a black belt with your brown belt. You're still a brown belt. When you get there, you're going to become, and then you're gonna make it work. And then it's funny because when I was training, it was a very competitive gym. Like everyone, it's like we used to kill each other there in the training. It's like a war every day out. And then always when I changed the belt, I didn't accept to have a lower belt, giving me a hard time, going hard. And then I forced myself to improve. You know what? I have to work harder now to show myself that I can be this belt, which sometimes, man, doesn't mean anything. Also, you can be a really good blue belt and purple belt tapping you out, and then you are black belt already, But it's an everyday thing, like the medicine. You have to take a little bit every day. You're gonna be there before you get there. And you're never going to be ready, like you're never going to be a black belt while you are brown belt. After you change, you catch up. You go there, you're going to work hard, I see. It's a beautiful thing. Some guys, I have students, we have all kinds of people saying that sometimes I feel that my student is ready to change the belt. And then he comes to me and say, oh, I don't feel that I'm ready yet. I don't feel that I'm there. I don't want to get my belt now. It makes me very upset, this, because I always tell them, guys, it's not like you are purple belt already, you're gonna get there, it's a hard work. And then I can't compare. Every single person is different, you can't compare yourself to me. I can't compare myself to you. And it's a different body, it's a different condition, it's a different, I remember when I was black belt tapping for a blue belt. It happened. It happened. What can I say? I'm not a black belt now because this happened. It happened. The guy took his back. I closed a triangle on his back. He did this leg hip that people put outside over the leg and then put the hips forward. And I was like, I don't like to tap personally.
Yeah.
I'm very stubborn on that.
Oh, shit.
But I was like, okay, I'm going to tap.
Yeah.
Last finish.
Yeah.
It can happen. It doesn't mean that I'm not a black belt because of this, And that's it. I think it's a really nice achievement. I think was the best achievement I had in my life, more than the world championship, more than anything, because sometimes what makes you to win a competition. It's a circumstance that happen on the day. It's not only how much you work hard before. You can be
Yes.
super talented, and you work like you train 2-3 times a week, and you go there, you can win a fight, and you have a good mindset, you can,
Hmm.
you know. But to become a black belt is something that you have to work towards. You have to. There is steps.
Have to earn
The
it. Yeah.
belts you have to earn. You know, and it's something that you become. You know, something that you become. You are world champion for 2017, 2016, 2015. The other years, another one. No
Mm.
one's going to remember this. But when
Mm.
you earn a black belt, it's like it's something that will be forever.
Yes.
It's something that you started and you finish. You know,
Yes. Yes. I love that.
it's yeah, it's man, it was amazing. The day that I got my belt, it was better than any title, better than you know
It's because
any
you put in your
uni-
mind that belief that you can do it, and you did it, and a
and
long
also
process.
it's like if you compare to any studies, like if you go into university, it takes 4 years for you to graduate from day one to
Yeah.
you know and jiu-jitsu, it's like maybe 6, 7, 8, 10 years for you to get a black belt.
Yes.
So
10 belts, 10 years minimum to become a black belt, as you say.
yeah.
Because you can get it in 6 years, but you still always have this gap to fill. I
Mhm.
think 10 years is a very good number to really, truly feel like you reach that level in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's
Absolutely
amazing. It's
incredible.
amazing. And then you always, that is this magical thing that I really like about jiu-jitsu. It's you don't have to be talented. In soccer, you see the guy kicking the ball, you already know that. Especially in Brazil, because so much competition, they look at you and say, "This guy, choose another sport. It's not for you."
Okay.
But jiu-jitsu, it's a bit different. You can develop, you can
Anybody,
have
yeah.
your own style, and then
That's
you
true.
know you can create a new moves. You still be able to
That is so true.
yeah.
That's
It's
definitely
it.
a huge thing, man. Because like in football, you're right. Some guys just, no matter how much they kick the ball, it's not gonna work out.
It's not gonna work.
So true. Listen, Jose, in terms of future plans, do you have any? Like, you seem like a guy that's always like aiming forward, looking forward. What can I do? Long term, not short term. I know short term, you've got your heart set on Saudi Arabia and what you're doing. Do you have some long term dreams in Jiu Jitsu?
Yeah, I have few. Now I want to concentrate what I'm doing here
Yes.
now. Like I think we have a beautiful things to do here. Yeah, we can. We have a lot of projects, but in the future I will have my own gym for sure.
Where would
It's
that
something
be?
that.
Where would you imagine the perfect place for your gym? We had a question on the chat from Imad Ajine that was asking.
Okay, I don't know, man. I'm not sure yet. I'm
Okay.
not sure. I don't think it'll be in Brazil. You
Hmm.
know, it can be in any. I don't know. I don't know if Middle East will be the place. Also, it's not. It's not. It's still not defined. I will have my own gym for sure, but
I like that.
yeah, but I will. I don't know where yet and how and when. For sure I will be. I want to be this old guy that comes to the gym and teach a class. And never. I don't want to retire ever. I want to work until the last day. I can.
I
You know.
hope you do, man, because like
Yeah.
honestly, you have such a, for a guy who said that his coach had to teach him how to talk. You have a beautiful way of explaining this art that we all love. Like the way you've just packaged so much information during our talk. I feel like I gained so much value from you already, and I hope you have your own academy and a lineage from you.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff, man. Can you hear me? I think it
Oh,
cut
for
up a little
sure.
bit.
That's my long term goal to have my gym and then just to be there old. Maybe I don't know how good I will be walking if I'm gonna have crunch or something.
Nah, you're
But
fine.
I wanna
Yeah,
be there teaching to the last day of my life, sharing what I learned.
I
And then
like that.
it's a mission. Like for me, it's a mission that uh, I was a person that jiu-jitsu really changed me. I was
Yeah.
very insecure, and then the thing that you can't talk, it's just a symptom of a problem that you have, insecurity, and then sadness sometimes, and then don't have any goal in life or anything. Even though 14, 15 years old, they didn't want to do anything, just play games. I was going a very ugly path. I don't know, maybe I would get along with bad people, maybe I would do drugs, and it's all over in Brazil, Exactly. But thank God, Jiu-Jitsu crossed my life, and then I think it's a mission now. I think I have to pass this, It's like a religion, don't want to compare to any other religion, but it's like a religion. You just have to I think it's my mission. I just have to keep sharing these, try to help people, try to make them become try at least make them become a better person, showing what we have, and if they're gonna use it for a good thing, or if they're gonna quit, at least we did our best. We give our best every day. I'm teaching class. Of course, we have ups and downs, but I really have a mindset that I have to give my best to my students. Yes. I have to study. I have to, some guys, it's the best time of their days. Sometimes you're sitting all day in the office, and then you have, your boss, or you have your targets. You have, if you're a business owner, it's so much stress, and then you go to a gym, to have fun, to have, even though therapy. You can see. Yeah, and you can see after finish the class, most of people want to stay there and then talk, and then very excited, We call resenha in Portuguese, yes. So I have this mindset. I always have to give my best to my students. Of course, I have my good days and bad days, but I have this mindset of, I have to give always my best, and then show them how this can improve their lives. It's not just about the technique, and just not about the physique or something, it's much more than that.
Jose, like you've already changed so many lives, incredible amounts of lives, both Brazilian and Middle Eastern, by the way. Not just, you've changed black belts' lives by what your project is and how you guys work together here. And I know and wish for you so much success in the future, because I know you'll also continue to do it. Like, it's so important what you do. And people are lucky to have you in Saudi. We miss you in the UAE. You definitely, like, you got to keep coming back and like visiting us.
Yeah, for sure. I went there last year on the World Pro. Nice. This year, unfortunately, they didn't have it. Yeah. But yes, I will be there. Inshallah. UAE it's my third home, let's say now.
Lots of homes, Brazil. Man, this is the blessing. This is the blessing of going out and trying and just discovering the world. You end up having a home everywhere, and you definitely have a home here. You have family here. Everybody loves you.
Yes, I do for sure. It was a really challenge that I took for me. Like leaving UAE, I was in a very comfort. Let's say I was in a comfort situation there. Had a good job, stable, and all these things that will happen there.
Yeah.
But I just felt that it was time to
new adventure.
And then to have a new chapter.
Yes.
And maybe because I felt that UAE there's so much good guys. Guys that already, even that they were much better than me in what I was doing, and I felt that I was not giving my best anymore,
I get you.
And then I was like, okay, now it's time to move on, and then let's make a difference somewhere else. Let's try at least, Let's like working towards.
Man, I respect that, and like it's amazing. I've seen so many chat messages already, and before we wrap this up, I want to address some questions in chat. If you guys have any questions for Jose, now's the time. But Malik Hammam was asking, shout him out for us. We're students and we're dying for him to compete again. Please tell him. So is there any plans for competition?
No, man, I got invited to make a super fight against Herbert now at the end of the year.
Wow.
But I said, oh, maybe, but I don't know, man. I don't have plans now to compete because, as I said before, for me to get into a competition mode, I gotta be, I cannot do 50%.
I gotta go ask Marcelo how many years for Jose now. But
yeah,
you don't see it in the near future. You're focused on the business, on teaching, and instructing now. Yeah, because that's fair, man. Because you went through a long period where you weren't teaching, and I'm sure you missed it.
Yeah, but you still, it was a life changing for me to be back on the mats as a coach and sharing and even though I don't feel that I'm there yet, I think I have a lot to improve as a coach.
Okay.
Because one thing is when you're training for yourself, and one other thing, it's completely different. Doesn't mean that you are doing a good job in competitions, you're going to be a good coach, you know. So I believe I have a lot to learn from this, I want to be a good coach. I want my student to be 10 times better than I was, So that's my goal now. And then, maybe
I like that.
But my heart's there as well. I love to compete. It's something that drives me, gives me a lot of motivation. But I don't want to go into this path again now. Because I have to neglect my students. You can't do both things good. You can't. You just can't.
Hey man, you're still young. There's many years ahead. You've got the experience. You've got the wisdom. If you want to, I'm sure you can definitely make a huge comeback, man. But either way, I'm happy to talk to you, to catch up, and I can't wait to you come back to UAE. We have to train together with Zumbi and with all the guys.
Yeah, for sure. Just want to thank you again.
Habibi, my pleasure.
And thanks for the opportunity to be here, and thanks for sharing your time. And then, I know you're doing this from your heart.
Yes.
And you are jiu-jitsu. It's really nice when I see someone that really loves much more. You can see it's not just a competition. It's not just, you can see all the benefits of the sport, and then
100%.
You experience yourself, and then you're dedicating your time. I know you're very busy. I know you have your things you do, and then you're dedicating your time in your life. You have your family, your son, and then you're dedicating your life to be here sharing this moment with us. And you're doing a good job.
I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you think so. And I hope you had a good time as well on the show.
Yes, I did, of course. I don't feel comfortable. I prefer to be on the mats. It was easier when we went there and then spar than be here on the other side of the camera.
Do you remember where I am?
I do.
I am next to the mat area. I miss it, man. Listen, you know how it is. Like for me, jiu-jitsu came at a late time in my life, but I believe it came at the right time. Because I came at a time I was so stressed about so many things that jiu-jitsu was like this breath of fresh air. It gave me this release, this place to go and just be myself and happy. I don't care about competition for me. I enjoyed competing. I like trying myself out, but I know it's not my goal. My goal is to dedicate to something that has nothing to do with family expectation, work, money, benefit, not just for me. Dedicate 10 years, achieve it, prove to myself I can do it, and just, man, in the process, the family, the people that I gained.
It's nice.
Everything.
It's amazing.
It's everything, bro. Thank you so much, man, for doing this. YouTube, everybody watching us here, thank you so much for the chat and the love. Junior is not only a super fighter, but he is an amazing professional, and he has a big heart. From Fabio Gomez.
Thank you, Fabinho.
Ask him who gave him
my brother.
Hey, man, Fabio is a legend, and he's got a baby boy now to turn into a champion.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
God bless him. Malik is saying, ask him who gave him his nickname.
It was when I got in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
When I first got there. I was wearing a glass, of course. I wear a glass, and then one of the guys, he didn't know me, and then he said, "Oh, one of the guys he knew me," and then he said, "Oh, this guy is very tough. It's black belt that arrived here." Because I arrived 1 week or 2 weeks after then all the hundreds of guys that arrived.
Okay.
Or 70 guys by this time, and then one of the guys said, "No, man, this guy is not a black belt. He's a scientist. Look his face." And then they started to say, "Oh." The scientists. So.
I like that, man. You reminded me of something. I always wanted to ask you this. With your glasses now, how well do you see without your glasses?
I can't see the score.
The laugh says it all. So do you feel this is an advantage or a disadvantage when you fight?
I don't think it's. I don't know, because it's a disadvantage because of the score. Because always when somebody is coaching me, I always tell them, "Please tell me the score."
Wow. Okay.
So I wanna, because we don't know if the referee make any mistake. I make the points on my head, but sometimes it can be wrong on the score. It can be something that I think it was points and was not points. You know, you mean the advantage on that you become isolated from everything,
like you focus literally on the grips, on the position or the weight distribution, or no?
No, I think
that's too much kung fu.
Yes, because it's like everyone's screaming, and then it doesn't
make a difference.
Really, yeah, and then I use glass since I'm maybe 3 years old.
I see. So okay.
Then
I always wanted to ask you that, but I'm happy. Okay.
Oh, disadvantage, you know. But it's funny. It's funny that some guys I ask them, especially when it's somebody that don't know the way I fight, you know. And then instead of them, they go, "Oh, Junior, take it down," or Junior, I don't take anyone down. And then I tell them, "Please, if you want to help me, just tell me the time and the score." I say, okay.
I love it.
They can't. They always say something.
They always want to join the fight.
Yeah.
I see.
It's okay. I enjoy. I love
it. We have another question. Hashim, what's up, brother? What advice do you give to participants over 35 years old that have injury but still want to train and compete?
Yeah, I think it's like I always let my students to be very comfortable in the class. You know, it's like, okay, you do one sparring, and then you don't have to do all the training session. You don't have to. You go in your pace. You know.
I like that.
You don't have to prove nothing to anyone, and then it's about the coach also. I try to motivate my students, but I don't want to push them in a way that they're not going to be able to come back tomorrow or after tomorrow. You know, it's not about there is a different type of class. You know, 95% of jiu-jitsu practitioners they're not competitors. You know, maybe more than 95%. You know. And then here I can see this difference because a private gym, the goal is not compete, you know, just to have a lifestyle.
Yes.
So I believe first, stretching. Something that stretching is very important.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's huge. It changed my life.
It's stretching and warm up, you know, stretching and warm up. It's two very important things.
I don't know if you know about like the myofascial release prehab. Have you ever done myofascial release?
No.
I'm sending you something. Listen, I interviewed him here. He's a biomechanic therapist. Okay. He sent me a list of things to do based on my body type before jiu-jitsu to release knots and tensions in the area of the hips and the pelvis for jiu-jitsu. Man, my knees don't hurt anymore from my pelvis. It's unbelievable. I'll send you this, but this is something important. I learned this recently because, you know, I'm approaching my mid-30s and I'm on that. I have many injuries. I had a spine surgery. I learned that a 30% day is better than no day on the mats.
Exactly. No.
So even if I go and I just train 2 rows and I sit and I watch everybody train, for me, this is a win rather than going 100% and then the next 2 days I can't train.
Or can't move or can't walk, you know. Some guys, they just can't. I have students that they are doctors, they are surgeons.
Exactly.
How they going to do it, you know? I think you have to respect everyone's space, you know. And then the most important thing is you have to learn how to listen to your body, you know. Listen to your body. If you feel it's a different pain, the exercise pain, and then when it's hurting. So when you learn this, you don't go above your limit because
well said.
You want to have as a lifestyle, you know. You're not competing. You have nothing to prove to anyone. You know, that's my advice. And stretch.
I like
stretching and warm up. Too.
You guys heard it. Stretch and warm the fuck up. You heard what he said many times. He repeated it 4 times.
Yes. Good stuff, people don't want to do the warm up. They say, "Oh, it's too hard," and then or they want to skip the warm. Everyone wants to spar. No, man. You have to prepare your body. Man.
I'm with you on that. I appreciate, your time. I appreciate your advice for everybody here. Thank you so much for doing this, Jose.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks
You
for
too.
the
Everybody on chat, man, I hope you guys had a good time. Much love to you. I will catch you on tomorrow's podcast interview. Be sure not to miss it. Much love, everybody. See you then.
See you. Take care. See you guys.
Peace.